Let's move on to other key items in CIBIL report. When they say accounts, because even somewhere we have seen, and even in the beginning I mentioned that when they say accounts or when they say account information, they actually mean what? They actually mean the loans or credit cards. Okay, so only credit facilities will be reported under this credit information report. So it can be like home loan, auto loan, personal loan, overdraft facilities, credit cards. It can be loan against shares. Okay, and what is important is something will not get reported here. That is, assets including savings account, fixed deposit, mutual fund and stock investment, they do not get reported because they are not in the nature of obligation. They are not in the nature of loan. Okay, right. Next, sometimes you will also see actual payment amount. Here I think we have seen, yeah, actual payment amount. This will come into picture. This actual payment amount will come into picture when the amount what is paid is different from what is supposed to be paid. So actual payment amount is the amount you have paid to your lender when it is different from EMA amount. So it's possible it can be greater than EMA amount or less than EMA amount also. Then comes amount overdue. What do we mean by amount overdue? That is, you are supposed to pay some amount, but you have paid only part of it. So something is still due, or you are supposed to pay some amount and you have not paid anything. So that amount is still due. So we call that as overdue. So amount overdue indicates the total amount that has not been paid to the lender in a timely fashion. So this overdue can be principal, it can be interest, or it can be composition of principal and interest. Next, we have cash limit. So this cash limit you will see mainly with reference to credit cards, because when a credit card is given, they'll also give you cash limit so that you can withdraw the cash and use, right? So this applies to credit card specifically. So it is basically the amount of cash you can withdraw from your credit card. Then closed loan accounts. Closed loan accounts, that is, if you had loans in the past, that is in your credit information report period, if you had loans in the past and if you have paid off and closed that loan, still it will reflect, but it will reflect with a mention that it is a closed loan account, and it is possible that you could have either paid and closed that loan, or it's possible that you didn't pay, it had eventually become NPA, and that money was recognized as not collectible by the bank, and so the bank has recorded that as written off and settled account. Okay, so those kind of information. So it's not only your present live loans, even in the past, if you had availed loan and if you had not settled it properly, if you had not closed it properly, it will reflect under closed loan accounts. So if you are an individual borrower, potential borrower watching this course, please remember, the one default what you do today will affect you for several years, because for several years it will reflect in CIBIL report that you had taken a loan in the past, you have not closed it correctly. And if you are a banker watching this course, then you can understand what is going to be the credibility, integrity of that borrower who has approached you. Then CN, that is control number. In the beginning itself I said it's the report number. Okay, and that number is required if you want to raise a dispute. Then collateral, we have seen in the case what we have seen, there was no collateral. I mean, that particular individual had not given any collateral. But what is collateral? It is basically additional security which is given to the lender so that lender can safeguard himself. That is, in the event of the borrower not paying the money, lender can enforce that asset, realize the money and have the loan account closed. So that collateral can be in the form of a property, share, gold, whatever. Okay, but it got to be something marketable, and agriculture land they generally do not consider as collateral, so it can be in the form of property, shares, gold. But for all this, banks will have its own conditions, its own restrictions and its own valuation technique also. Okay, then you see a credit limit. Okay, this credit limit is basically applicable for credit cards and overdraft facilities. So this will reflect the amount which you can access. So let's say you have a credit limit of 5 lakhs and what you're using maybe 2 lakh, 3 lakh, but at any point you can go up to 5 lakhs. So that reflects the total amount of credit you can access. Then what we see is current balance. Okay, this is the amount you still owe on a particular credit facility. Let's say 5 lakh is the credit limit and you have availed 3 lakh so far. So your current balance is 3 lakh and you owe only 3 lakh, right? You do not owe 5 lakh, you owe only 3 lakh because that's what you have availed. And here the lenders, they typically take 30 to 45 days after your payment is received to update this information. Let's say you had a limit of 5 lakh, that will come under credit limit. You had an outstanding of 3 lakh, fine, and you have settled that outstanding, you have made the account as zero, but for that to reflect in the CIBIL report, it will take 30 to 45 days time. Then comes that very critical element, DPD. Already we have touched on that, but still I repeat, DPD, that is days past due. This will appear under where? Account information section of our report, right? And this indicates for how many days the payment on that account is late. That is for how many days it is delayed from the original date. So if there is anything other than 000 or STD, okay, then that is generally considered as negative by the lender. So 000 means there is no delay at all. STD means the account is standard, the payments are happening within 90 days. But if there is going to be anything other than this, then bankers are going to view that negatively because it indicates there is a delay. So the possibility is the account can become a special mention account. It can be a substandard or doubtful or loss. So those are all the cases where the new bankers will not touch that account. Then this DPD information will be available for the past 36 months. And here how they will show? They'll show the recent month first. Okay, and sometimes under DPD you will also see XXX. Okay, and that implies that information for those months was not reported by the concerned lender bank to CIBIL. So XXX denotes the concerned lender banker has not reported the information so far to CIBIL. Next, EMI amount. Yes, it's simple. It is nothing but the equated monthly installment. Then what you see is enquiry. That's what we discussed in 1 or 2 sessions back, right? So this enquiry session will get updated when you go and approach various banks for loan or credit card. Because if a banker is going to process your loan, the first step, maybe after collecting your basic data and before final processing the proposal, they will go and check CIBIL. So at the time of checking CIBIL, they will give like for what purpose you are asking the loan, what is the amount and the date of inquiry and which bank. So all these details will get captured. So these are all enquiries which are added to the report when you apply for loan or credit card, and the details of all those get captured here. And if there is going to be too many enquiries in a shorter period, then that could also communicate that you are credit hungry. Okay, so look at here. Please note that the date of inquiry may differ from your actual application because the lender may access your CIR a day or more after you have applied. Yeah, that's obvious because you give application today, they'll do the basic verification done, then they go for login. So it can be 1 or 2 days gap also. Okay. Then sometimes you'll also find a mention called high credit. Okay, this applies to credit cards and facilities, and this reflects the highest amount ever billed. Okay, let's say for that particular credit or overdraft. So let's say it is sanctioned as overdraft facility, a limit of 5 lakh, and on an average you use like 3 lakh, and at one particular point of time you touched up to 4 lakh 90,000. That is the high credit, and again you come back to normal. So if sanction limit is 5 lakh and if the present outstanding is 3 lakh, then if you want to know what is the peak utilization, you have to look at high credit, and high credit will say it is like 4 lakh 90 or 95,000 as the case may be. Okay, so these are all the other keywords which you have to understand, and when you go through the CIBIL report, these information will also help you a lot. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you liked it.
If you wish to learn more on this topic, do check our comprehensive online course. I have given the link in the description below. If you like this video lecture, do not forget to click on that like, share and subscribe button with bell icon.